You know that feeling when you're playing a video game and halfway through you realize you're just playing against an unplugged controller?
Oh, yeah. Where there's like no challenge at all.
Right, exactly. It's totally hollow. Well, imagine doing exactly that, but on a global stage with a ticket to the World Cup on the line.
It's hard to even picture.
It really is. Welcome to today's deep dive. For you listening, our mission today is to explore excerpts from Shadows of the Ghost match to look at a bizarre, really suppressed moment in sports history.
Yeah, a professional football match played against literally nobody.
Exactly. And to understand why a team would play against nobody, we have to look at the severe political tensions that forced the situation.
Right, because it completely breaks the fundamental agreement of what a game actually is. I mean, a competition inherently requires two sides.
Okay, so let's unpack this. We're looking at a 1973 World Cup qualifying playoff between Chile and the Soviet Union.
Yes, and the sources point out that the Soviet team flat out refused to travel to Santiago's national stadium.
Wait, really? Just flat out refused?
Yeah, according to the source material, this refusal was tied to a brutal political coup that had just taken place in Chile.
Oh, wow.
The Soviets argued the stadium itself was inextricably linked to that political upheaval, and they simply refused to step foot in it.
So they just refused to go.
Okay.
What's fascinating here is how the sources highlight FIFA's attempt to, erase games like this from history.
Exactly. Games where survival suddenly mattered far more than the scoreboard.
But wait, if a team outright refuses to show up for a qualifier, shouldn't that just be an automatic forfeit?
You would think so.
I mean, why make the home team put their boots on at all?
Well, that is exactly where FIFA's rigid bureaucracy collided with reality. The rule book at the time it didn't have a clean mechanism for a politically motivated no-show of this magnitude.
So they didn't know what to do.
Right, so to officially advance Chile in the World Cup bracket, FIFA decided the administrative protocol literally had to be acted out physically.
Here's where it gets really interesting.
Oh, it gets so absurd. The rules mandated that a match must officially take place on the pitch to satisfy the qualifying bracket requirements, even if one team explicitly said they weren't coming.
Wait, so they couldn't just stamp a piece of paper and move on?
Yep.
They actually forced the Chilean team to physically manifest a game that everyone knew wasn't happening.
Precisely, which leads to this eerie, ghostly theater. 11 Chilean players put on their full kits and walked out onto a completely empty pitch.
Wow. In that massive stadium.
In this massive stadium.
I can't even fathom the heavy silence of that. You're running on the grass, you're setting up a play, but there is zero defense. You're just shadowboxing.
And they had to follow the charade to its literal conclusion. The referee actually blew the whistle to start the match.
You're kidding.
No, the team passed the ball up the pitch amongst themselves, and a striker ultimately fired a shot into an empty net to officially win the game.
That is so surreal.
No opponents, no crowd, just ghosts.
It's just wild. The governing body demanded a physical manifestation of a match, prioritizing their procedure over the chaotic, dark reality of global politics at the time.
And that's why the author of Shadows of the Ghost match highlights how uncomfortable this history is. It's a stark reminder of what happens when the unbending rules of sports are forced over complex, real-world events.
The scoreboard technically functioned, but, like we said, survival and politics mattered far more. So what does this all mean for you listening?
Right, it kind of brings us back to the unplugged controller idea.
Exactly. It makes you wonder about the psychological toll on those 11 players.
How so?
Well, athletes spend their entire lives training to compete, to be forced to step onto the world stage and perform a hollow ritual.
Just scaring a meaningless goal.
Yeah, just to satisfy a bureaucratic loophole, it has to completely strip away the soul of the sport.
It really does. It's totally performative.
It leaves you with something to chew on. If a game is played with no opponent and no audience just to satisfy a rule book, is it still actually a sport or merely a dark performance of compliance?
That's a great question.
What other bizarre events might have been swallowed by history just to keep the scoreboard functioning?